Pregnant? Got the young boy.
Damn, if they only knew. But like, I was shocked too though. Like,
welcome to the Dark Times channel. And so before I go ahead and get started, make sure you guys go ahead and hit that like button for me. And if you're not new to the channel and you enjoy the content so far on this channel, make sure you guys go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me as well. This isn't going to be one of my longer videos, but I definitely wanted to go ahead and kind of circle back around to a topic that I touched on yesterday in regards to Jalen Green and Draya Michelle allegedly expecting their first child. You know, it's one thing to link up with a woman that, you know, maybe she's been around the way, been around the block a little bit.
Tell me what's going on right now, okay? I mean, first you two are just going out with each other, but now you're taking this too far. You're talking about marrying my brother. I can't let you have my brother hear me. I can't.
But it's another thing entirely to go ahead and want to bring a child into this world with an individual like that. And so a lot of the OGs, including myself, are kind of sitting around and kind of scratching our heads a little bit. It's like we can't understand it. And it almost seems like they're trying to make this the new wave now, to link up with, I'll just say, women with questionable past.
Body in the last like 2 or 3 years.
She said no more.
Don't say no. No, your wholeness can get deleted. Your wholeness can get deleted.
And unfortunately, that's the thinking and that's the mindset of a lot of young ladies. And not just women, but young men too. Now, as much as people would like to change their past and maybe change some of the people that they decided to link up with and do this and that with, they can. And as long as those individuals are still around and they're still out there, and especially if they're in the limelight and they have a social media presence, your information's out there and people got the drop on you, as Gilbert Arenas and Nick Young are going to somewhat prove.
damn, if they only knew. But like, I was shocked too though. Like that day when I was riding home with Philly in the car. Yeah. I don't know if I can tell that story. If you want me to tell that story.
Nah, she's a mother now.
She's a mother now. Yeah, we can't do that because that day changed my life. I ain't gonna lie. That day changed my life. That's when Swaggy P was like, okay, man, this is what NBA is about.
And so a lot of my OGs can relate to this, what Nick Young is about to chime in on, because you don't have to be in the NBA to be able to relate to this story. A lot of y'all can relate to this story. I can relate to this story. I can remember being back in high school and thinking I had a dime, and I did have a dime, but thinking I had a tenderoni. You know, like I said, I was young, a little wet behind the ears, and so I didn't necessarily know the difference at the time, or at least I didn't want to know the difference. I was caught up, because when you're that young and you come up on somebody that's fine like that, somebody that's a dime, you don't necessarily correlate that with that girl having linked up with everybody. I can remember going inside of my basketball locker room the very next day after I had saw her, and everybody started giving me high fives. Everybody was dapping me up. It was like, yeah, we heard you linked up with old girl. And I'm not gonna say her name, but they said her name. And I was kind of looking around. I was a little puzzled. I'm like, first of all, how'd they know? And second of all, how do they know her? She didn't even go to the same school. And so to make a long story short, it was about 5 or 6 of my teammates that had been with her. And some of them at the same time. And so I was shocked. That was my first intro into how some young ladies can be out here. Like I said, I was young. I was super young. And had they not said anything, I mean, who knows how long it would have gone on. But I remember going home after that and hopping in the shower like Ace Ventura.
No!
And so like Nick Young said, you know, he was shocked too. Because oftentimes, especially as young boys from an early age, we're taught to put these pretty girls and these dime pieces up on pedestals.
Damn, if they only knew. But like, I was shocked too though. Like that day when I was riding home with Philly in the car. Yeah. I don't know if I can tell that story. If you want me to tell that story.
Nah, she's a mother now.
Listen, Dick. Hey, guys, check out the rack on this one.
Oh, yeah, that's what Daddy likes.
Come on, guys, take it easy. She's a mom.
She's a mother. Yeah, we can't do that because that day changed my life. I ain't gonna lie. That day changed my life. That's when Swaggy P was like, okay, man, this is what NBA is about.
Hey, listen. Hey, NBA, hey, listen, I'll let you know this is.
Yeah. I'm riding in the car, he in the back seat. I turned my head, this nigga against
Nah.
What was you doing in that back seat, Gil? What was you doing in that back seat?
So the reason why Nick Young or Swaggy P was shocked, it wasn't that Gilbert Arenas was getting it in and doing his due in the back seat. That wasn't it. It was the fact that somebody like Draya, somebody who looked like Draya, was the one doing it. I'm sure that was the shocker for him. You know, as a young man fresh out of college, I'm sure he was shocked to some degree to see somebody on the level of a Draya doing what she was doing. You know, up until that point, individuals that were getting down like that in the back seat typically weren't gonna look like that. But then he learned that there's levels to it. And when you're on that NBA level, and not just NBA level, but when you're on that baller level, when you're living that lifestyle, what's a dime to somebody else and what somebody else probably holds in high regards and what somebody might be fiending over in a magazine or a poster on their wall is a plaything for you in the backseat of a car on a Saturday night.
How are you, Nick? And this is Stacy. Stacy? This is Nick. Pleasure. We're gonna have dinner. Come on.
All right, let's check the kitchen first. Let's do this. 1 second. Come on, straight. A pink veal, you can pound it for 2 days. It'll never ever get tender, you know what I mean?
And so that was Nick Young's wake-up call to the NBA. That was the moment he realized, you know, you can't judge these women based on how they look, as far as what they'll do and what they won't do, and who they've done it with. But it's a new day. It seems like a lot of these young guys, including Jalen Green, they really don't care. They really don't care. It's almost like the more bodies, the better.
Come on now.
You know what I'm saying? See, hey,
the veterans that's been in the game, let's say, just for the sake, hypothetically speaking, the veterans that have been in the game and been in the NBA, they not biting the hook.
They all smash and dash.
Listen, stay with me now. They're going to catch the fish and they're going to put it back in the water. Now, when you're a little younger, catch and release. When you're a little younger, it's a little different.
Every man's got an ego. No man wants to be out and about at the movies, at a restaurant, or wherever he may be, and have his lady or have the mother of his children recognized like that, and probably even run into some guys that have been with her. It's a problem, or at least it used to be. But like I said earlier, it almost seems like they're trying to make it a fad in which they get a lot of these industry girls to kind of be passed around. And a lot of these NBA players get stripes. And I'm not going to dive too deep into the reason why that is. I'm not going to put my tinfoil hat on this particular video, but if you know, you know. All you really do is have to think about it. From a logical standpoint, why would they want to make something like this popular? Why would they want to give stripes to individuals that continuously date the same girls that their friends do, that their peers do? I'll let y'all do the thinking on that one, but definitely go ahead and chime in the comment section below. Let me know how you feel on this particular video. And as usual, peace and chaos.